Yeah. Listen, how can we transgress when we know that the Lamb's death was a spiritual...
Hi guys, welcome back to another Let's Be Honest with me, James Blunderfield. Today's video is going to be called Taking Charge. Now, taking charge is much more than just ruling over things, and obviously more than definitely just kicking out and just saying, oh, I know best and everything else. Instead, we're going to be looking at what it really means to take charge. So first things first is age. Age is nothing, it is just a number. Okay, age is just how long you've been on the planet alive for. That is all. It doesn't have any indication on intelligence. It doesn't have any indication of how much God can use you. It has no indication of how much gifting you have. And it also is no reason to judge anyone else. Let's look at the Bible. You got people used in the Bible in their rough ages. You got Ruth, Esther and Mary, Jesus' own mum. They were under 18 easily, and yet those girls were used massively in the Bible to further God's kingdom. I mean, one of them gave birth to Jesus himself, so God chose to use those sorts of people. That's for you ladies. For the fellas, we've got Daniel, Joseph, David, Gideon, Samuel, Solomon and Josiah as well. They weren't even old enough to shave. David, he's one of the greatest kings that ever lived, a bloodline to Jesus himself, and yet he was easily used throughout that whole time of his youth. So what does that mean for us? It gets on to my next point. Step up, take charge. If you're not stepping up and getting yourself into positions where you can make mistakes, that you can actually make a difference, then you're just wasting time. God can use you no matter how old you are. I was talking to a friend the other day, and he reminded me of a time where we were praying for him, had hurt his lower back, and my daughter was there, my wife was there, and we're praying for him, laying hands and everything, and sometimes when God moves, you can feel the Holy Spirit, you can feel his power moving through you. Truth, my daughter decided to stand up and pray, and she laid her hands on his back and just prayed, and straight away was healed. He felt the move of power through him like crazy, and he said he's never forgotten it. And by the way, she was under 4 at that stage. She was tiny. She was a little girl, and he says he still remembers the move of God. He said God can use you no matter what age you are. And she stepped up. She took a risk. She stepped out for God. She went in faith, and that made a massive difference. Is when we step out in faith and actually have the guts to be able to make a mistake, because she didn't question whether it was going to be alright or not. She actually just stepped out and did it. I'm proud of her. I know God's proud of her. So stepping up, take charge. I encourage you guys, if you're watching this and you're in a place of, at my age, I don't feel like I belong, or things aren't happening how I think they should be, you guys have a say as well. Just because of your age, it doesn't mean that you don't have a say, because actually you do. You're a human being. God loves you. You're blessed by God. You have talents and giftings and stuff that no one else has. You're individual. And you have a voice for a reason. You have a brain for a reason. You have opinions for a reason. Now, fair enough. Sometimes we need times to be refined. We need experience on our side, and we need to take counsel from other people. But don't be scared of stepping out of our comfort zones, because only by doing that we grow, and that's what God really wants for us. Now, my generation, we're in a funny place. There's quite a few of us that are kind of like now stepping up into either leadership or getting promotions at work, or starting, we should be living in some of the fruit that God's spoken over us in the past. Not all of us, because God's timing is not ours, but actually most of us should be at least aiming towards that, unless we don't know God, you know. But at least you should be striving for something in my age, you know, 29 sort of age, that sort of generation. But the generation after us, the younger generation, the ones that I teach, the ones that I do youth work with, your generation can have such an impact on this world. If you look at culture at the moment, even just information, you've got it at your fingertips. You know, I always say to my dance students, watch YouTube videos of breakdancing all the time, as much as you can. Learn tutorials of it. Don't just learn from me, but learn from other people as well. All because when I was growing up, there was no YouTube. There was nothing like that. I had to learn off other people, or I didn't learn. Much less at my fingertips. And every other generation said, oh, the generation before us had it, but after us have it so good, you know, they don't know what it's like and all this. Yeah, we don't, because it weren't for us, you know. But just make the most of what we got. You know, you've got so much to give. We're technologically and academically smarter than the past. You know, we learn from other people's mistakes. But at the same time, it still makes us foolish. You can know as much as you want in the world, but actually, at the end of the day, it's nothing compared to what God thinks. The next thing is believe in yourself, because not everyone else will. You know, everyone has their own agendas. Not everyone's going to give you a pat on the back. I'll be blatantly honest with you, hence the name of the videos. Not everyone's going to give you a pat on the back for doing the right thing. People ain't like that. Some people are. And you should surround yourself with people like that. And, you know, it's not to blow your own head up. It's not to brown nose you or nothing. It's literally just to keep you encouraged. You want people around you who believe in you as well. God thinks you're good enough. Otherwise he wouldn't be using you. You wouldn't be alive if you didn't think you were good enough. He believes in you, and that should be enough for you guys. It should be enough for all of us. Hence why I'm doing these videos, you know. I don't think there's a reason why you guys should be listening to me, but actually, if God ordains it, that's good enough for me. I'm trying to put things out there, trying to get some knowledge off what God's been speaking to me about to you guys. I'm just here to try and bless, you know. Next thing is risk-taking. Risk-taking is a big thing, because obviously there's an element of risk. But also you're allowed to get it wrong, okay? Hear me out. You have got my permission to get it wrong, as long as you learn by your mistakes and you take counsel from people that have been there before. We have an older generation before us for a reason. They've made mistakes. You take counsel from them, you learn from them, you help them you let them try and help you grow. You know, you've got pastors, you've got elders in the church, you've got people far along that have been along that sort of walk, people that you can open up to and can be totally honest with you, people that you can be accountable to. If you're truly loved and truly looked after, you should be allowed to make mistakes. That is the most time that we grow, is when we make mistakes. And trust me, I've made loads. I still do every day, you know? And God isn't going to be on a cloud with thunderbolts, going to be trying to throw them at you, lightning bolts, and just really angry if you make a mistake. He's not like that. If you fall, he picks you up. He encourages you. He loves it when you try new things. He's not going to be someone that, unlike people around us, who's going to try and have their own agenda. He has his will, absolutely. I'm not saying that he don't. But he is for us, and that's something he promises us, that he is for us, he's not against us. He'll catch us when we fall. He'll teach us how to walk. So believe in him. He believes in you. And the last thing is stay humble. Humility is a rare thing. We've missed something. It's not all inherently your fault. It's something that's inherited, something that is being taught, a lack of humility. Plus, we like to blow our own trumpets, come on. No one's got it all sussed. No one. And God knows that. God calls us to be humble. 110%. That's what he looks for in people, with humility. It equals wisdom, people. It really does. But a quote for you guys, one of the greatest 19th century visionaries, It's called John Ruskin, and he says this: I believe that the first test of any truly great man is humility. I don't mean by humility doubt of his power, but a really great man has a curious feeling that the greatness is not for them, but through them, and they see something divine in every other man, are endlessly, foolishly, and incredibly merciful. Now it says a lot, we're not quick to forgive as in natural selves. We like to point at blame, we like to see the faults in everyone. I mean, look at the news. All bad news because we pick the faults in everyone. Football teams, as soon as someone misses a shot or something, but before that they're amazing, and as soon as they muck up once, they're like slammed for it. It's the same for everything, celebrities and everything else. We just like to pick holes in everything. We like to point the finger. We don't realise that actually we're just making a mockery of ourselves and showing how shallow we are and how hurting we are on the inside. We're called to more than what we've been doing, guys. We should see the good in people and raise them up, praise them up. Because only if we just look out for ourselves and try and build ourselves up, as soon as we die, it's gone. As soon as we die, it's gone, it's finished. But actually, if we build other people up, we invest in other people, emotionally, in our time, in our efforts, teaching them, just being with them, no matter what situation they're in, no matter what they do, build them up. And then we build a culture. We build a generation that is stronger than the one before. And the world takes a U-turn. Instead of being dragged down into a pit of despair, it's actually raised up, and there'll be less suicides going on, there'd be less crime, less poverty, because everyone would be treated as equal. Everyone would be given chances that they've never wouldn't have been given before. See the potential in everyone, guys. Everyone's got a God-given potential. Everyone's got a different role to play. Just because it ain't the same as yours, just because you don't understand it, doesn't mean it ain't of God. But I'm going to finish with you're worth it. Taking charge because you got something to give. You're worth it. God thinks you are. You're not on this planet just to go to work, come back, reproduce and repeat. There's more to life than that. We're called to be the salt of the earth. We're called to be something more. And you're worth it. You're worth more than you give yourself credit for. I'm talking to myself here because I got to tell myself that daily. Maybe in another video I'll tell you my testimony, and this should make a bit more sense, but hopefully God will use this and bless you guys. But let's be honest, God is awesome, and so are you. Go make the world a better place, and I'll try to too. Hopefully see you again soon, guys. God bless.
Yeah. Listen, how can we transgress when we know that the Lamb's death was a spiritual ground? Yes, because he was placed.